Hey guys, it's TFNut. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're actually doing a model kit review. This is going to be of the Good Smile Company model kit series or Moderoid Promare Lio de Galon. I've been wanting to do a lot more model kit reviews on the channel, especially Gunpla. I have a decent backlog I have to get through, so I'd like to be reviewing some more Gunpla this year, even if it is a little bit older for the channel. We will wait and see how well I can get around to managing reviewing any of those. But this model kit you see here, it's my first Moderoid. It's a brand new kit from Good Smile that I've had pre-ordered for a while. I got it almost 2 weeks ago. I've just been pretty busy to building this and have had to sit on it for a little bit. But this is a really cool model kit, and if you're not familiar with Promare, it's an anime original movie from Studio Trigger that they made like Kill la Kill and Cyberpunk Edge Runners. The movie's kind of stupid because when I describe it, it is about firefighters with mechs fighting fire aliens, and that is the baseline description. I reviewed the Figmas back in August of 2023. Those were decent figures, but for the price, they are very expensive. So this is a bit more of an affordable model kit if you are at all a fan of Promare or Trigger and want something from there. From them, you might be able to get this kit. This box is really large, like extremely large. It's definitely getting outside of my review station, but it's a very cool box. When we talk about the design here, it may look a little plain because it's just a white backdrop, but the posing here and the actual art for Lio de Galon is really cool. The top right does say Promare. We also have Good Smile Company Model Kit Series Moderoid towards the bottom left, Lio de Galon, as well as Good Smile Company. Throughout this whole box, you're going to get that similar lettering of what you saw just a second ago. On the top here, it's more of like a profile type of design of the same pose of Lio de Galon from the front, and again the wording of like Lio de Galon and all that. Now on this side, as well as the opposite side with this long ways here, it's going to have in the Promare font Lio de Galon, and again it will say that on the other side. That's pretty nice looking right there. On this side here, you just zoom in a little bit and you can see some more of the detail of the actual design of Lio de Galon right there. Again, you know, Moderoid and Good Smile and all that. On the back here, you can see some really nice colors as well as some posing for this particular model kit. I will talk about the articulation in a second because it may not be able to do this many poses, honestly, with how stiff the joints are. I'll just say that right now. But this stuff here is still really cool, especially the design-wise. It's just a really cool box. Now, before we actually talk about the model kit that's built, I do want to talk about what you get inside here first. You can see all these runners here. There's 18 different runners. All of them are wrapped. Some of them are wrapped together. It's all actually really secure in this box once you open it. I think they did a good job of securing it so that way nothing breaks in transit. We also have a sticker sheet right here, which we will talk about that in a second. That was the bane of my existence. But we also have a parts list sheet right here that talks about how many runners there are and the different types of runners and some of the different plastic, which I'll elaborate on that in a second as well. We also have, of course, the instructions, which is the most important part here. So there's 7 pages dedicated to building this, which seems reasonable, but there's also 2 pages just for how to apply the stickers. Speaking of, this sticker sheet here has 90 stickers. It may say 75 towards the bottom right there, but some of these are duplicates. So yeah, there's upwards of 90, almost 100 stickers in this. Now, I haven't built a master grade yet, but I don't know if there are certain master grades that have up to 100 stickers like this. That is insane. And these were really difficult to apply. And during the detail section, I'll elaborate on that. But man, that was just the bane of my existence. We also have some different types of plastic with these runners. I want to elaborate on this really quick. If you see here, there's a few white runners like in my right hand, and then there's the joints runner right there on the left. Those are made of ABS plastic. The rest of the runners, like the yellow and black, those are polystyrene. So I just wanted to elaborate on that in case you wanted to like paint this up or use certain solutions that may get in the way of certain plastics. There you go. So that way, you know, you're informed there. And we do also have some parts separated, you know, stuff with paint on here. I don't really know how to elaborate on that, but these are pre-painted parts, which is nice that they did that because if they were to, you know, put stickers for this, these might be a little bit more difficult, but these are the only parts that are painted. These are for, you know, on the left, you see there, they go into the shoulder pieces, and then the, you know, stuff on the right, those are like for the face. So that's very interesting to see there. So there's a lot going on here with this particular kit. Once everything is said and built, as you see here, it does look really nice. I will say this was like maybe overall maybe like a 10 to 12 plus hour build for me, at least, because I like to make sure everything is finally, sanded down with the nubs. I tried my best. Like, the stickers may have been like 2 to 3 hours alone just because they could be so difficult to apply. But again, once everything is built and, you try not to break this like I thought I did a couple times, it is a really fantastic model kit. So let's go ahead and talk about the accessories that were built for this model kit, and then we'll take a close look at the actual model kit. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the Matoi weapon here. And the reason why is because it kind of highlights a problem I have with the overall kit. So first of all, this thing is just mostly, well, not mostly, it is just in this white, slightly translucent plastic, and it's a little bit hard to see when I turn the brightness up. But as you can see, it does have some detail, well, not really detailing, but like certain shapes going on in here. It does look really nice. It may look a little plain, especially compared to like those slightly blue and pink highlights that you see on the design of the box. I think they kind of were like, yeah, we're not getting any more stickers that can work with this, which is fine with me. I didn't want to put any more stickers on. This little top piece here is a separate piece, and it can seem a little fragile, but it's a bit sturdy. Here's the thing. Well, actually, first, this is how long it is. You have this little bottom piece here. And then it does actually, as carefully as I can, separate here. So that way, gosh, it's really difficult to pop it out. But that's how that looks. And you can use the gripping accessory to slip in the, staff into the hand and then pop this on like this. And it does have a certain shape to align that. I probably shouldn't be doing it like, there we go. It's a little bit not on there. But the problem I have, you can still see some gate marks on here. And, I try to nub out these, rub these out as best as I can, right? Here's the thing, and I think it's this one. This is the last thing I built, this weapon. I finally got to a point where I was trying to sand this down, and I was being very careful, not even like, just barely gripping it, and then barely sanding it, and it still started to move a little bit to where I think this is about to break. At that point, I was like, all right, I'm done with this model kit. I don't care about nubbing these down anymore. So it does look a little ugly on these little thin pieces, but these are very fragile. Yeah, these things will break easily. And the fact that they put these gates here where it can easily break, they should have had it so, like, when you put all this together, there's a piece in here that latches into a peg. That had a gate, and then like right here and here maybe. Like, there should have been only 2 sections. I'm not going to judge them for, the construction of how they did this too much, because I'm sure it wasn't easy. But if you ask me, there should have been 2 sections of gates here. And if there had to be more than that, definitely not here, where it's literally one of these smallest sections that's going to cause that to split. It's really, it looks nice, but some of the design-wise and, like, the gating, like I said, it's just not good on this. It was very disappointing that I almost broke that. This whole thing kind of broke almost a couple times. Nothing actually broke, but I was getting close to breaking things at certain points. Let's focus back up, be in a bit of a better mood, of course. And we do have these hands here, these alternate, open, expressive hands, if I can stop shaking around the camera. These are nice. These are the only ones that actually have articulation and the hinging right here. Everything else is just a stationary peg. You can see right there. The detailing on here is really nice. Again, I think there's actually supposed to be some, pink on the knuckles, but they didn't add any of that. But it's also a really hard section to get any of that on there, so I'm fine with that. These are very nice mechanical looking hands. And again, they do have a bit of a hinge there. And then I kind of talked about it a second ago, but we have gripping hands for the Matoi weapon, and this particular figure I have posed with the fists for now, so we'll talk about that more in detail in a second. I think like this section right here should maybe have pink. Honestly, I don't care enough. It's fine. But there is like this weird, there's something weird on the plastic. That's how it was made like that. There's no, like, the gate section's there and nothing with the gates are coming here. I don't know what's going on with that. But the panels look really nice on there. Very nice spiky hands. And then we do have this undercarriage adapter piece for a base. But you may be saying, wait, we don't get a base with this. Well, here's the thing. So first of all, you want to pop this under, the undercarriage, of course. It's a little bit difficult to do once you have it planted in there. I don't know if I actually aligned this section on there 100% the way it was supposed to be, like, in the instructions. But, once you get it on there, and then you actually use a Figma adapter base, or just the base itself, that actually is a perfect fit going in there. And I think they may have designed around that. I don't know if there are Moderoid bases in general that can be sold, but this definitely works with a Figma base. And then this is what Lio de Galon looks like when he's standing on a Figma base. And honestly, because of the section on the feet with those ice spikes going there, it kind of covers it. So if you have an extra Figma base laying around, I think Good Smile sometimes sells them on their own. You can use this to, keep him stationary and keep him stable, which I highly recommend because sometimes he likes to fall over. His legs are not 100% the most stable. Okay, all that yapping has led to finally the detail section. Man, I actually really do like how everything is put together, how everything's built. The one thing I gotta say once everything is built is that parts do seem like they want to not break, of course, but just kind of separate. Like there's some gapping going on here around the chest that makes that want to separate. And try as hard as I might, some sections I've pushed together just won't stay together. It's kind of hard to see, but this joint section here, I have taken this apart before building this whole thing, early in the build to push this in as much as I can. And it just won't go in. And I've made sure, this one's better right here. I've made sure that nothing was getting in the way. The torso articulation does work decently, but some sections like around here and around some of these armor pieces are going on here that are separated, they will want to, come apart a little bit. But because you have all this extra stuff around the body, it's not going to fully split in half or anything like that. Another issue is that these stickers, they do sometimes want to fall off a bit, not completely, but this one around here in the crotch area, that will kind of come undone a little bit. Around the knees too, they look fine now, but sometimes they want to lift up a little bit. It's definitely more, yeah, you can see on the back here, this lifts up a little bit no matter how many times I push that down. And I will admit, there are a couple times with some of these body parts, definitely back here, where I had to take them off and then put them back on. So maybe that could have done something too. But I know for a fact some sticker areas like this, I haven't done anything to this yet, and this likes to peel off too. If you really want to torture yourself, if you want to paint this instead of using the stickers, then I applaud you. Here's the thing. These stickers really did annoy the ever-living crap out of me. But once they're all on there, honestly, things look really good. I'm not going to lie. These ice pick pieces, whatever, they can go in and out rather easily. But, moving it around too much and it will pop off. So, yeah. So that happened on camera. And then on the back here, these are actually stickers. It doesn't seem very apparent at all. You can kind of see the separation of the clear plastic with the white there. The tip of this one that you're looking on the right, that does want to pop off a little bit. Again, the detailing on here is nice though. Look what we got going on in the face. Really cool detailing. Lots of really nice angular features. And the separated paint parts, there is gate areas, I believe, in between each section of the eye there. But honestly, I mean, a little bit of black in there, I don't think they did that too bad. These do seem a little fragile, but I haven't had any problems with these yet, but they are a little spiky as well. One thing I also want to mention, it's kind of hard to see, especially if I'm shaking my hands. You can kind of tell some lines in the yellow in the face, right underneath the eyes, around what would be the mouth. So I believe those are supposed to be panel lined. They're really small, and I think they can be done in a really messy fashion, so I didn't bother to do that. I feel there was also line detailing, in the sculpt around here too, but this gets covered up by the stickers, which actually this section wasn't. This is probably my most favorite sticker section, honestly. It looks kind of messy. in some areas, and it seemed like it was going to be really hard, but things do actually fit really well in place on here. So there's that. Okay, so enough jumping around. A lot of what's going on, because there's 18 runners, is because you have black overlaying the yellow, and then like the inner workings and all that. So you can kind of see like the separation of the plastic with black and yellow in the neck there. You get that a lot. Like there's a lot of stuff going on in the inside of the model kit, and not just the, I mean, a lot on the outside as well. So it kind of shows why there's a lot going on. But again, like when you apply this on there, this sticker looks really cool. The highlights on here are just really nice. And again, they were a pain, but it was still really sick. Now I think some areas, you know, they just straight up didn't do some something, and they didn't even provide some stickers. I think this little triangle right here on these shoulder pads are supposed to be white actually. And then I think there might be some accents of green in some areas, like maybe in some of these other triangles. I don't remember, but that's really not that big of a deal. One thing I did want to mention too is if we look at the hips right here, it's a little bit hard to see with all that armor going on, but you see how they're yellow, and some of the promotional images, they're supposed to be pink, and I feel like they maybe should have just, you know, given us a runner that was just only pink, just for those, and they're just yellow here. But I don't mind too much. I mean, it doesn't really matter. That's that, you know, inaccurate to me. Some of the highlights, maybe sometimes they were yellow in the movie. I don't remember either. But yeah, like lots of great angular details on like the chest going on too. These were definitely hard to apply. Looking at what the armor pieces go on the back there, very cool looking. Almost looks like a skull with this detailing right there. Really sick. And then I feel like you may be able to put in a base in here. I don't know if I can pop it off right now, but there is a peg in here, but it's meant for this. So I don't know if you could pop that off and it's actually meant for like a back display base or whatever. You're really going to need to use the undercarriage attachment for that. These shoulder pads are really nice and large too. These were my least favorite sticker sections here too, though. I really hated applying these. And there were these highlight stickers that actually weren't too bad to apply either. They actually kind of fit in there. Some stickers do kind of look like they shouldn't be there. Like they're kind of off the mark sometimes, I feel like. And the instructions aren't super reliable either, because in the instructions it shows that this is supposed to be like a straight angle type of sticker right there, but you can see how that's like curved. So I don't really know what's going on there, and like I don't know why that ended up happening. You know, the bicep pieces are really nicely done too. The way that is armored or detailed. Why did I say it like that? I've been doing a lot of yapping, so I gotta finish this up. The gauntlet pieces are really cool too. I didn't like these either though. There's a little bit of chewing going on here because you have to put these. I think you have to put one of these on first and then this second, I believe. And I did the opposite way, so I kind of messed up some of these stickers, I will admit. This is also going to need some time to talk about. If you see there was 100% breakage of these little arm guard pieces that go in there, because the instructions make it look like you have to put in the joint, like shove it into the hand guard section, and it just straight up broke on me. So I 100% had to super glue it. Just be careful. I'm going to be honest. Some steps in these instructions are not very reliable, and they really want to just straight up kind of ruin your figure, not going to lie. That's kind of crappy. But, you know, the hands here, these fists actually don't look too bad. Lots of nice spikes going on in there. They're very spiky looking. You have a pretty slender, you know, waist going on here. So sometimes it's a little bit top heavy. In this back section, I don't really know why this basically has a tail, but it does have some hinging there. We'll talk about it in a second. You do have these separate, side skirts looking really good. And then these pieces actually lift up here so you can get better range of motion around there. And then we do have just lots of great angular, details going on here. Again, all these things put together look really good. It's all said and done. And then these keep falling off. Going all the way down here, you do have some line detail that you maybe could add a little bit of black line, like panel lining going on here if you wanted to. You can really do whatever you want to your kit. And then we have, these sticker sections down around the shins. And then these feet They look big enough, but they are kind of tiny, honestly, to where he can't really stand. I mean, he can stand on his own fine. Sometimes it's just not super well. These pieces here, I don't understand really the like engineering going on here. Yeah, so those pieces just keep falling off. But when you push this all the way forward, that will go back in there. I guess that's to help simulate a double. No, not even. That's to help it kick back. That's why. Okay. Okay, so they keep falling off, but I do want to show off. We don't have any stickers for these ice pieces. Just like the toy accessory, it's just in this slightly translucent white. But the angles on here are really cool. And these are the inner, ice pieces right there. So, it's a little difficult to talk about this because I had my decent amount of, troubles with it, especially right now. I will say again, I just don't really like how they did the stickers. Not that they look bad. Once you build everything, it looks pretty good. It's just that they were really difficult to apply. And I understand that if they part separated everything, these actually piss me off, not gonna lie. If they part separated everything, that's impossible. Like, there's no way they could part separate everything. You'd need like twice the amount of runners that they provided already. And there's already almost 20 runners. So, there's some things about the construction that isn't perfect. I think some areas of like the nubs are really apparent. It's a little chewed up in some areas, unfortunately. I did as best as I could with my glass file to make things look good. And then some parts still are separated. Like these yellow parts on the shoulders, they just won't come together at all. And it's even more apparent here. So, I feel like there's things on my end I could have done better. But at the same time, there's some things on Good Smile's end that I think they also should have done a little better. But, like, I cannot deny this big piece here. And these are a little bit, those are a little bit fragile, so be careful with that. This is such a really nice, large model kit. And it looks really good. You'll just need to be careful with certain things when you're doing the construction. And when you're messing around with it, you're going to need to be careful with it too. Another issue I have with this model kit is that while they did implement some really nice engineering in the articulation, the actual joints themselves, because it's all constructed, can be quite stiff to where things are a problem when moving things around. We do have a ball joint going on there. There's a separate hinge in here. And there's a ball joint here. So trying to move things around with these really sensitive pieces here, which sometimes the top of the head here and this little like wing or like this, like, I don't know what these even are, this like crown piece or whatever, sometimes they'll actually fall off, but they won't break at least, so that's kind of nice. I guess. But again, a ball joint here. I would love to show just as much range of motion as I could, but again, things are pretty tight. But you have decent range of motion going into the torso, but you can start to see how this is starting to separate right here. I'm going to try to push it down. These butterfly joint pieces can make it go up and down here, as you see there. And we do have a little bit forward back, actually. Ball joint going in here. And then the shoulder joint, actually, or the shoulder blade, that can actually move here, as you can see. Arms can go all the way around up here. And then, yeah, there's just a lot of range of motion actually up in here. So I actually don't have that much to complain about with the arms. These things suck. The upper arm is a little tight, but still good. Single joint elbow, though, and now this piece likes to fall off. So yeah, things just aren't, at least I can put them back in, but things don't want to stay on when you move things around. Like, yeah, this is a nightmare already. There's a bit of a ball joint going on in here, but you can kind of move it, but it doesn't really work that well when you want to do like certain posing around. And then ball joints in the hands. I showed off that there's already hinging in the open hands, of course. Okay, so let's try to put this back on, I guess, and I'll show you the torso articulation. So that likes to go forward. This is a nightmare. And then it kind of go back a little bit. I mean, you hyperextend it a little bit, but that's just the gapping going on right there. That's kind of a nightmare. Side to side, at least things can be popped back on again and work. And then you can rotate it a little bit. So I actually don't think this is popped on here all the way. And in case I forgot to mention, this kind of back tail piece can hinge, but not by very much. You do have these side skirt pieces that can go in and out like so. They can rotate a little bit. These pieces hinge forward so you can kick out the legs going like this. And then back. And they actually engineered this to where this thing pivots like that. So it's kind of interesting. It actually doesn't work too bad. You can make them a little bit taller. You can push these back a little bit if you want to. Actually, it's not super natural looking if you push them back, making them stand like that. Upper thigh swivel. Single joint knee that gets a lot of bend, like I said, because that piece likes to dent inwards. And then, you know, those ice pieces kind of get in the way of articulation, but you have these side ankle pieces right here that have a little bit of a ball joint. They can go up and down here, a little bit of a ball joint going on. Actually, an okay pivot too. We have a ball joint going on in here, can kind of do a little bit of toe hinge type stuff going on there. So yeah, I do apologize for this being a bit of a messy articulation section and a long one too. But keep in mind, if you want to get crazy with this like SH Figuarts or Figma, it's kind of hard to do that. Whether you want to go to the top of the actual head to the top of those crown pieces, you're looking pretty close to 21 to 25.5 centimeters, which is going to put this around 8 to 10 inches, again, depending on how you want to measure that. Right next to him on the right, I have the Infinite Justice Gundam right there, the 144th scale high grade. Right next to him on the left, I have the Sentinel Gurren Lagann. Far left, Robot Spirits Ava Unit 0. Far right, standard size Marvel Legends figure. He's going to be taller than all of them. I've taken up enough time with this review, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it here. This is a nice model kit, but I think you really got to like either Moderoid or be a big Trigger fan or, you know, like this movie a lot in order to really want to buy this, or, you know, just like interesting looking mechs. It's really up to you. I don't think you're entirely missing out if you don't really care about how this looks or anything. I don't think you 100% need this model kit. There's really nice things about it, like the overall detailing when it's all put together, and when you do have the stickers on properly, everything does look nice. It has an interesting range of motion of articulation, honestly. I thought it would be a little bit worse. It does have stiff joints. It does kind of want to pop apart a little bit too much, but you can put things back together pretty easily. Not much accessories, but this particular mech doesn't really need that much. Biggest problems are really the production side of this kit, with the gate marks in some areas, especially the Matoi accessory, with it almost breaking because of how the gate sections are done. It's kind of insane. And again, things want to pop apart a little too much. The stickers were such a pain to put on. And then some parts are pretty hindered. Those ice pieces on the feet are really not great. They want to pop off all the time. Once again, when all is said and done and it's completely built, it is a pretty nice model kit, but I can't entirely recommend it, unfortunately. It's around 70 to 75 bucks. It's also a little bit more expensive, so keep that in mind too. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below. Just think about the figure, think about the review, leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.